Alright, today we are going to read Chapter 9, Lesson 2, Snowy Peaks. Many hikers enjoy the challenge of climbing in the Rockies. The higher into the mountains they climb, the colder it gets. Even during the summer, hikers must be prepared for snow and ice storms. All climbers, even the most skilled, take care to have warm clothes and the right equipment before setting out. Elevation and climate. You have already learned how elevation affects climate. In the Rocky Mountains, precipitation increases with elevation. Low regions of the Rockies tend to be dry. The San Luis Valley in Colorado has a desert-like climate that is one of the driest areas in that region. The mountain peaks receive much more precipitation throughout the year. The amount changes depending on the direction the mountainside faces. Northern slopes receive about 3 times as much precipitation as the southern slopes. Much of the precipitation in the Rockies falls as snow. Sometimes, however, there are fierce thunderstorms in this area. Elevation also affects temperature. Between 7,000 and 10,000 feet, the winters are cold and the summers are cool. Above 10,000 feet, the climate is extremely cold all year. The highest mountain peaks in the Rockies are usually covered with snow. Read how one traveler described the climate in the mountains. Excerpt from a letter by Isabella Bird, describing Long's Peak in Colorado in 1879. It is one of the noblest of mountains, but in one's imagination it grows to be much more than a mountain. In its caverns one comes to fancy that it generates the strong winds to let them loose in its fury. The thunder becomes its voice, and the lightnings do it homage. Mountain plants and water. The Rocky Mountains, like all high mountains, have a timberline. The timberline is the point above which it is too cold for trees to grow. The timberline in the Central Rockies is around 11,500 feet above sea level. Elevation also affects plant life in the Rockies. Sagebrush can be found along the valley areas. Forests of fir, pine, and spruce trees are found in higher areas. At about 11,000 feet above sea level, there are Krummholz, I think I've said that right, Krummholz forest. Krummholz is a German word meaning crooked wood. Here the spruce and fir trees are shorter. They are also twisted and bent. These unusual shapes of these trees helped them to survive the lower temperatures and harsh winds. Above the timberline there are no trees. Instead there are stretches of grass and low-growing plant like lichens. Lichens require little warmth to survive. Great Salt Lake. The Great Salt Lake is located in northern Utah. It is the largest inland body of saltwater in the Western Hemisphere. This lake is fed by the Bear, Weber, and Jordan rivers. Water flows into the lake, but it does not flow out. The mineral salts from the river water are trapped in the lake. Over time, salt buildup made the lake even saltier than the ocean. The Great Salt Lake is considered an important source of minerals. The size of the Great Salt Lake depends on the annual precipitation and the flow of the rivers that feed into it. The area is a popular beach and water sports attraction, but because of the high salt levels, there is very little wildlife near the lake. Nearby marshes, however, attract birds such as pelicans, herons, and gulls. Putting it together. If you climbed a peak in the Rocky Mountains, you would find the temperatures fall about 3 degrees Fahrenheit for each 1,000 feet you climb. Your surroundings would also change as you get higher. Spruce and fir trees would give way to the Krummholz forest. Then above the timberline you would only find grass and lichens. Here you could easily see the great effect that elevation has on the climate in the Mountain States region. And what I'm going to have you guys do is, there are a couple different activities on this page. The first one, make a chart with 2 columns. On one side, list 3 different elevations of the Rocky Mountains. On the other side, list what plant life you would find at each level of the elevation. Alright, so we have 3 different ones. You guys just have to go back into the readings and find which ones. So we can go over those right now. Alright. Here, the timberline in the Central Rockies is around 11,500 feet. At 11,000 feet, there are the Krummholz. Alright. So those are 2 of them. And then the first one is going to be, so just think of it as the bottom of the mountain. So we have the bottom of our mountain. So this is 0 to 11,000. 11,000 to 11,500 is going to be the Krumholtz. That's the Krumholtz line. And then above here is going to be our lichens. Alright, but you guys need to tell me what kind of plants, what do you think would live in the lowest one? And then, this one you guys can choose to do. Suppose you wanted to climb a tall mountain peak in the Rockies. Write a paragraph, so paragraph is 5 sentences, describing the changes you would see as you climbed higher and higher. Alright, and that's really just about the same thing, just you're writing it down in 5 sentences. Alright.